Hey guys, today I will be talking about the 2020 Senate races between the Democrats and the Republicans. The Republicans currently do have the majority in the Senate with 53 seats to the Democrats with 47, and the Republicans have held control of the Senate since 2012. And so today I just wanted to discuss the 2020 Senate races based solely on polling data with our new polling data map. So first is the state of Oregon. Oregon, currently Jeff Merkley is the incumbent. He is a Democrat. This state is very solid for him at the moment. And in the state of Idaho, Jim Risch, also a very solid state, this time for the Republicans. Jim Risch is 100% going to win his reelection in the state of Idaho. Next is the state of Montana. This is a more interesting race. Currently, Steve Daines, the Republican incumbent, does lead over his Democratic challenger, Steve Bullock. Steve Bullock was actually leading for quite a while before this. However, Steve Daines does seem to have a 4% lead on average at the moment. So I will be giving the state of Montana to the Republicans as a lean Republican state. And next is the state of Wyoming. Cynthia Lummis. This is a very strong Republican state, the most Republican state in the entire country. She's definitely going to win her seat in the state of Wyoming. And then in the state of South Dakota, Mike Rounds is also expected to carry his state with a solid margin. And then Ben Sasse in the state of Nebraska, also a very solid Republican state. This will almost definitely go to him as well. And so I am in a little bit of a rush right now, so I don't have too much time to record this video, which is why I may seem a little bit rushed. However, I will try to get as much information out for you guys as possible. Next is the state of Kansas. Roger Marshall does lead over Barbara Bollier by 1 point. Just 1 point separates them right now. Kansas, typically a very solid Republican state on the presidential level, however not on the Senate level, which is why Roger Marshall only has a 1 point lead over Barbara Bollier in the state of Kansas. Definitely I could see this flipping for the Democrats. However, right now it's going to go to the Republicans. He leads by 1%, so it's going to be a Republican state on my map. And next, Jim Inhofe leads by 20 points in the state of Oklahoma, a very solid Republican state, definitely going to go to the Republicans. And then for our first flip on this map, John Hickenlooper does lead by 8 points over Republican incumbent Cory Gardner. This is currently a likely Democratic state right here in the state of Colorado. John Hickenlooper, the popular former governor of Colorado, ran a very poor campaign for president. However, he is very popular in the state of Colorado and is almost definitely going to win his seat in the state of Colorado for the Colorado Senate. And then the state of Arizona, Mark Kelly does lead over Martha McSally by 10 points now. He has been leading over her for quite a while now. Mark Sally, honestly, I do not think that she is a good candidate. She lost against John McCain, and then she became the senator after the passing of John McCain. However, Mark Kelly, I think, is a very good Democratic challenger. He leads by 10 points. He is outperforming Joe Biden in the state by a very large margin, and I think he's definitely going to win his seat with a likely margin at this point. So that is another flip for the Democrats. And then in the state of New Mexico, Ben Ray Lujan, running for his first term as a senator from New Mexico. He leads by 16 points right now, 16 points. He is also outperforming Joe Biden by 1 to 2 points, so it's going to be a solid state for the Democrats in the state of New Mexico. Next, I want to move up into the north here, the state of Minnesota. Tina Smith leads by 6 points here in a lean Democratic state. I'd categorize this as solid and even likely before. However, now she does not seem to be polling too well here. And another poll shows that Joe Biden isn't even doing too well in Minnesota. So we'll see if this is just a blip or if this is a real trend that we're going to see play out until election night. And then next, the state of Iowa, Theresa Greenfield leads over Joni Ernst, the Republican incumbent, by 3 points. This is expected to be a flip at this point, but only 3 points, so definitely Joni Ernst can definitely revive her campaign. However, right now it seems as if Theresa Greenfield is going to unseat her in the Senate from the state of Iowa. Next is the state of Illinois. Dick Durbin leads by 19 points in this state, so a very solid Democratic state in the state of Illinois. This is, of course, Barack Obama's home state, a very liberal state. In the state of Michigan, Gary Peters leads by 6 points over John James. Gary Peters, he does not have too strong of a lead over John James. However, it has been pretty consistent, and he is nonetheless still expected to win his seat with a lean margin. Next, the state of Maine, between Sarah Gideon and Susan Collins. Sarah Gideon now leads by 6 points over Susan Collins in the state of Maine. And just keep in mind, Susan Collins won her last seat by over 30% in 2014. She won her last race by such a large margin, but because she has been voting for Trump on a variety of bills recently. That is why Susan Collins is now not popular in her state anymore. She used to be the most popular senator. Now she is the most unpopular senator in the entire country by her constituents. But Susan Collins, I think definitely she can still win back this race. However, right now, it's honestly going to go to Sarah Gideon with a lead margin. Next is the state of New Hampshire. Jeanne Shaheen leads by 15% on average against all of her Republican challengers. The Republicans have not held their primary here yet, but Jeanne Shaheen, really, there are no strong challengers. Typically, this would be a toss-up seat. However, Jeanne Shaheen, with no real serious Republican challengers, she's definitely expected to win her seat, and polling data does show she will win it by a solid margin. Next, the state of Massachusetts. I think another very interesting race here. Currently, the frontrunner here is actually Joe Kennedy III. He is a descendant of John F. Kennedy. However, Senator Mark Lee is the incumbent right now, but he is expected to lose the Democratic primary to Kennedy, and he will run against whichever Republican they choose, but he's going to win. Massachusetts is the most liberal state in the entire country, so Massachusetts is definitely going to go to the Democrats, and most likely Joe Kennedy III. Next is the state of Rhode Island. Jack Reed, a very solid Democratic state. New Jersey with Cory Booker, also a very solid Democratic state, as well as the state of Delaware, another solid state. So some of these states really do not have too much polling data out. So if there's like solid, I'm just going to give it to the Democrats, Republicans as solid states, because that is what the polling data would show. There's really only no polling data out of the very solid Democratic and Republican states. We're done with the Northeast. I want to take a look at the Bible Belt here. First off, with the state of Virginia. The state of Virginia, Mark Warner is the incumbent. This is a solid Democratic state. Looking at West Virginia currently, Shelley Moore Capito is expected to win another 6 years in the Senate. This is a very strong Republican state. I would say the second most conservative state in the entire country, with the exception of Wyoming, of course. And next, the state of Kentucky. This is Mitch MCConnell, the Senate Majority Leader's seat right now. So if he loses the Senate, he would, of course, not become the Majority Leader again. Of course, it would probably be Chuck Schumer at this point. He is the Senate Minority Leader for the Democrats. But Mitch MCConnell only has a 4-point lead over Amy McGrath. He is still expected to win the seat. He is the second most unpopular senator, right behind Susan Collins. But he's never been popular in the state. He leads by 4%, so it's not too good for him. But he is still expected to win this state nonetheless. And next, we have some states that are also very solid for the Republicans: Arkansas, Louisiana, and Tennessee. I categorize as solid Republican states. They are all polling very well. There aren't really too many polls, there's really no polling average, but these three states are all very solid for the Republicans. Next, the state of Texas. John Cornyn leads here by 9%. This is a likely Republican state. He leads over MJ Hegar in this Senate race. Honestly, it's not going to be like 2018 when Beto O'Rourke came within 2% of Ted Cruz. John Cornyn is definitely going to have a much stronger margin of victory. Next, the state of Mississippi. Cindy Hyde Smith leads by 6% over her Democratic challenger. This is a lean Republican state, and I think that she is definitely going to win her seat. However, she's not polling too well. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than 2014. And then the state of Alabama. Tommy Tuberville leads over Doug Jones, the Democratic incumbent. In a state like Alabama, Tommy Tuberville has a 14% lead over Doug Jones right now. Very surprising to see. This is a likely seat. The state of Alabama, of course, Doug Jones gained his seat in 2018, I believe, and I do not think he's going to win a 6-year term. Honestly, Tommy Tuberville is doing very well in the polls right now. He is almost definitely going to flip this seat. So this is a flip for the Republicans. And then, looking at the state of Alaska, Alaska currently is a likely Republican seat. Dan Sullivan has an 8% lead in the state of Alaska at the moment. And then we have 3 more seats left. These seats in North Carolina, South Carolina, and then the 2 Georgia seats. First, in the state of North Carolina, Cal Cunningham leads by 8 points over Tom Tillis, so a likely Democratic state in the state of North Carolina, so a flip for the Democrats. And then the state of South Carolina, Lindsey Graham leads over Jamie Harrison by just 1.5%. Honestly, I was very shocked to see this. Lindsey Graham, of course, a very well-known Republican figure on the national level. Lindsey Graham, of course, he won his seat back in the 1990s, I believe. So it's very surprising to see that he is only winning by 1.5% against Jamie Harrison. Jamie Harrison is out fundraising him. However, he is still not expected to win his seat. I think it's going to go to Lindsey Graham. But 1.5%, definitely a very bad sign for Lindsey Graham right now in the state of South Carolina. So a tilt seat for the Republican Party. And then our last 2 seats from Georgia. First, I'm going to talk about the normal Georgia Senate race between Jon Ossoff and Republican incumbent David Perdue. Jon Ossoff now does have the lead in this race. Now he leads by 1%. David Perdue had been leading before this. However, Jon Ossoff has now taken the lead in this state. So I think Georgia right now is a tilt state for the Democrats. And then lastly, the Georgia special election in the state of Georgia, of course. Kelly Loeffler, she became a senator in 2019. She leads by 6% over her Democratic challenger, so she's doing much better than David Perdue in the state of Georgia, and I think she's going to win her Georgia special election, winning her first 6-year term in the Senate. She leads by 6%, so a lean margin for the Republicans. Sorry, not blue. And so looking at our electoral map here based on polling data, the Democrats would win 52 seats to the Republicans with 48. The only 2 changes here really for slate flips that I categorized as going to different parties last time was Montana, which I categorized as going to a Democrat based on the polling data because that's just what it showed, as well as the state of Georgia. Previously, David Perdue was leading the state over Jon Ossoff. However, he since then has taken the lead in Georgia, which is why it is now a blue state. However, there are still, of course, over 2 months until the election, so a lot can change. But right now, this is the state of the 2020 Senate elections based on the polling averages that have come out recently. And of course, in a couple of weeks, I will be doing my official 2020 Senate election predictions. So make sure you watch out for that. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like as well as subscribing to my channel. We are very close to 400 subscribers. We have less than 10 subscribers to go, and I would really appreciate it if you could help me reach this goal. Please comment down your thoughts in the comment section below, as well as any future video suggestions you'd like to see from me. And I will see you in the next video.